Thank you for joining us on the Bridge 99 FM. This is the Public Eye. I'm Ronnie Thwaites. I hope Colonel Charles Sr. will join us in just a little while. He's a co-host of this program. We do it together because we have a common passion for this nation, for this homeland of ours, for this place that has formed our identities and allowed us to have so much freedom and so much responsibility at the same time. Come from different backgrounds, he and I, He's a Rockstone Labourite. I'm a left of centre PNP. You know the political parties and the differences. We're different races. I'm a Jamaica white man. He's a very black Jamaican. And here he comes. And so we do this together because of the common cause. This is the Bridge 99 FM. The WhatsApp number is 876-551-5782. And the studio line is 876-676-4996. And you can download the mobile app from the Bridge 99 Play Store, Android Play Store, and the Apple one as well, the Bridge 99 FM. The sales office, in case you'd like to patronize us so that you can have your message broadcast and telecast. Remember, we're telecast as well to the entire diaspora all over the world. 876-669-5000. Want to tell you about the Pink Run, the ICWI, that's the insurance company of the West Indies, the Pink Run. Sunday, October the 29th, Hope Gardens. Register today. The Pink Run is a Bridge-sponsored event. Mr. Charles, welcome, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Thwaites.
And I wish you well today. I understand it's a special day in your family.
It's a special day. Do you know, it is so special that I forgot you. And she had to remind me 10 minutes ago.
Yes, that you were due here. It's his wife's birthday. We send greetings to Mrs. Gloria Charles. We know as much about her as we do about Pernell's mother, and the two of them have clearly been the women who have formed his personality and guided his career and protected you against yourself and others on many occasions.
Well, you're reading my letter to you. And my daughters are all here. And,
yes, that's nice.
And my husbands,
all the siblings,
sons, nephews, and nieces.
That's great. Yes, it's a time for a family gathering. I want you to support, as we call all our Bridge Nation people to do, the ICWI Pink Run. This is for the cause of breast cancer in Jamaica, and to encourage people to take the necessary tests. And interestingly, Mr. Charles, to tell you, or that what you possibly know, that although women are 99.5% of the persons who are most vulnerable for and the sufferers of breast cancer, men too,
yes,
can have tumors on their breasts. I'm one such. I'm a survivor.
You're a survivor?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Not at your breast, though?
Yes.
Oh, yes?
Yes. Many years ago.
Do you know, and so Dr. Mavis Gilmore discovered probably about 10, 15 years ago that I have a major cyst in my right breast. And that was my first or second operation.
Really, look at that now. So two of us have we have another commonality.
Yes.
Yes, there you go. So we invite you to be with us on the Public Eye on the Bridge 99 FM. Coming up in a few minutes after we survey the local scene, as we always begin by doing, Dr. Lascelles Graham, that retired captain of the Jamaica football team and redoubtable campaigner against the commercialization of schoolgirl sports, football in particular. This is a day when the owner of Barcelona club, that famous Italian club, Spanish club, has in fact been charged, I gather, for having passed on money to referees over a long period of time, heaps of money, in order to do what? To distort the outcome of the games. When we commercialize sport, what do we lose is the question we're going to be asking and discussing with Lascelles Graham. How does it affect the values and attitudes which we want our children our young people, our entire nation, to hold there. And after 1 this afternoon, that strong member of Parliament, Fitz Jackson, joins us about the question of his crusade, really, to have the banks modify their fees. The fees that they charge you, whether you like it or not, for any transactions, cashing your own check. Recently, there's been a victory in court for him, and let's hear what the next move is. I know that there are many. I think Mr. Pernell Charles knows it too, that there are many people on the government side of the House of Representatives.
Not only on the government side.
No. Who would oppose, and also many who would support.
Yes. On the government side.
Yes, support.
Yes.
So
okay.
This is one of the issues that we would like to have a strong input in the hope that we can have some resolution of this issue, this vexed issue which has gone on for so long.
And let's look at it as a national issue.
Yes.
Politicians on both sides,
Yeah.
maybe on the right side they have more power to say no at this time. But I don't know if the quantity is outside of Parliament.
While their own bank accounts are pillaged by these Shylocks every month, my God, and they suppress their own self-interest and that of all their constituents and continue to vote no. My God, what foolishness!
Well,
put it straight to you, sir. Wanted to.
Don't ask me what bank I bank with.
No, I won't. I wanted to put to you this other thing, though. During the course of the last week, our listeners, particularly those overseas, will be interested to know. We had a statement from the president of the Master Builders Association,
yes.
Mr. Lenworth Kelly, who can't be our guest today, but I have booked him for next week. Because he pointed out that Jamaican contractors, building contractors, are finding great difficulty in competing with the foreign contractors. And he is reacting to a statement made by a man for whom I have much regard, Mr. E.G. Hunter, the head of the National Works Agency,
yes.
who pointed out that many government projects for which there is money, yes, can't go through. The money go back into the consolidated fund because they can't find qualified contractors to carry out the work.
Yes.
Building bridges, repairs, various things.
Yes.
And the question I want to ask Mr. Kelly, and broadcasting it now for him and for all of us to think of, when is it that our capacities became so depleted that we cannot do our own work for ourselves?
You can ask me. I have been through it for the last 45 years.
What do you mean?
45 years I've been with the Jamaican contractors when they used to operate.
Yes.
No Americans are coming here when the Melville and Jew and the Scots and this, all the hotels and the heavy duty contractors. They're all gone.
Where they go? Why?
Some dead, some gone to Australia, some gone to a place. Something has happened why those contractors are not around anymore.
Who can take on the big...
Those who are around now can't take on with those little...
Small operations.
St. Thomas Road is a chief example.
I wanted to ask you about that because I know of your familiarity there.
Because the government said to the contractor, listen, if you win, we want you to use some of our Jamaican contractors.
That was China Harbour.
China Harbour.
Yeah.
And they divide up the work in about 5, 6, 7 with Jamaican contractors.
Sections.
And what happened? When their part was almost finished, the other part, not even half. And what happened now? They have to take it back and give the political representative a serious problem.
Yes.
Right? Now, thank God, I said to them when they were complaining, I said, listen, I know you have a right to complain, but by December you may be asking me to tell the police to come off for the speed trap. Right? And this is happening right now. The police is saying you're driving too fast.
Okay, but
the real context of what you're talking about is the management and the ability.
Yes.
Now, we're talking about Chinese contractors. I think the Prime Minister made a statement.
Yes.
That they weren't giving away any work to Chinese contractors.
But they have given everything to the Chinese contractors.
No, the Chinese contractors were able to bid. And probably bid low. You can't tell a man that because he is Chinese and him bid law, him can't get it.
But you can certainly tell a man that who you give duty-free entry for his equipment.
That has to go into it.
Who you give every possible concession.
That
he
has
pays
to go.
no tax.
That has that has to go into it. If I were a Jamaican contractor,
he has
and
concessionary finance from the China Exim Bank.
well, you can't stop that.
But then to use the cliche, the playing field is not level.
No, well, let's look at some of the leveling. They said to the contractors, look, you're bringing in heavy duty thing.
Yeah.
There's a value in it. The Jamaican man said he can't bring it in.
No.
Okay. So you can't get all the contract and keep it. You have to give them at a price, negotiate with them.
Yeah.
And they have negotiated. I haven't heard any complaint that they took it, although they know they couldn't do it.
No, the problem is that it costs us more.
Don't cost you anymore. Because
sir, all of those contracts for the St. Thomas Road, for example, are way over budget.
Well, to who?
To us. Eventually, we pay for everything.
Well, you may be right.
I'm sorry, I'm
but
right.
if I give the contractor, the Chinese contractor...
He take his skim and give it to the subcontractor, and the subcontractor's complaint, I'm not excusing his non-performance,
yes.
but I mingle with them, and they claim that they have been given straw basket to carry water by the main contractor, who really wanted to do the work himself.
I don't know. They haven't told me that. What I do know is that the instruments that they had to do what they do, what they are to do, could not match what the Chinese
No, could never.
Follow me?
Could never.
But then if I were a Jamaican, I'd say to the Jamaican government, I want to bring in a 955.
Yeah, free of duty.
Well, if the Chinese come in free duty, I'm not going to pay duty.
But then that's exactly what is happening. Now, this is why I love your politics, you know, because what you're doing is you are seeing exactly the fairness, the simple elemental fairness in all of this. It is unfair for us to culture these people who make their own vast political contributions. I know what I'm talking about. Yes, and who curry favor and get the contracts. Their competence, I have no doubt. But you're asking Goliath, you're enabling Goliath to beat David?
Well, David sometimes have a catapult, you know.
Well, this is it.
And he's fired in the Goliath, at the right part of the Goliath.
You catch me.
but let's look at it.
What's this man turn scripture on me now?
Look at the right part of it.
Yeah.
The truth is this, that I would not expect a Chinese contractor to be given duty-free of all his heavy duty.
It's the same thing with the bauxite companies, you know. Jamaica remains a playground for people who want to extract our resources.
Jamaica remains...
Just as it did in the 18th and 17th centuries.
No, but you have to give some credit to it. Jamaica remains a fortunate country where people would want to come and work.
No, we make it so. And
not these American contractors and Canadian contractors.
I'm not against that. I'm not a jingoist, you know. I'm not against foreigners. But I'm saying we must look to our own interests, and we must favor and make sure that we do not prejudice and undermine our own interests in the way that has happened to us and that some of us have connived to do for the last 4 centuries, Purnell.
I will say this, I'm a nationalist.
Yes, sir, that is
therefore,
why I can raise this argument with you.
And I will say to you that a Jamaican contractor has all the right, even more right than a foreign contractor to work in Jamaica.
So when
however, you cannot expect that a foreign contractor is going to do it for $20 and the Jamaican contractor, if he don't get 60, I'm not going to.
No. So therefore, he has to sharpen his pencil too.
He has to sharpen his pencil, and the government has to minus from his thing what duty-free he gives to others.
Well, indeed.
So that they come out balanced.
So no, you got it. Balance and fairness is what we're talking about. And if when we do have Mr. Kelly of the Master Builders, I want to ask him some sharp questions, because the local contractors, have been putting up with too much advantage taking by the bigger people and allied to and connected with and favored by the government, and they're supposed to stand up and talk out.
Listen, I have a daughter named Dr. Michelle Charles.
Indeed.
And she came to my house and she wasn't smiling. I said, what have I done now? They say, you are a part to the contractors who are working in my constituency.
Yes, Eastern St. Thomas.
And they are not doing the work. The
Yeah.
people are demonstrating on me,
Yes, this is it.
not on the government and on those contractors.
Which members of the diaspora and the local audience on listening to Public Eye on the Bridge 99 with Fitz and Charles? This is on one day we have to use that kind of story you're telling us
Yes.
to talk about the role and responsibility of the member of parliament.
Yes.
Because the member of parliament gets blamed for everything, is held accountable for that which she has no control over.
And guess what she had to do? She go to the Prime Minister
Uh-huh.
and say, look, PM, I'm glad to be there. I'm glad to be serving the people.
Uh-huh.
But I am unhappy when they're stoning me.
Yeah.
And they're stoning me because over that side,
Yeah.
you have a man called Contractor Chinese
Yeah.
who is performing at X.
Yeah.
And over this side,
X minus.
X minus minus. So what is the reason? What's the problem?
Uh-huh.
And they said,
Uh-huh.
we have a problem. We got a bad part to do,
Yeah.
and what we get to do it, and what we have to do it, cannot match
All these
our
are not
survival.
exactly. All these are not accidental. The planters in the 18th and 19th century made cogent cases before the British government as to how they needed preferential duties for their sugar, because their estates were on such tough land, and because the Negroes were so recalcitrant, and because all this and that, yes. And the net effect was that when they got their assistance, when they got their duty-free equivalent of that age, yes, what they did was to grind down people all the more. Yes, do you understand? Is the point you and I converge on?
That's
that the system produces this age after age because we are not sufficiently bright enough, purposeful enough, and united enough to say we are not going to let people take advantage of us.
Those two I disagree with. We are as bright.
Yeah. So I will show it.
No. And purpose is available to us.
Yeah.
Why aren't we demonstrating it?
Yeah.
Because the truth is this, if I was a Jamaican contractor,
Yeah.
and I have my machines,
Yeah.
and I have my money, and my workforce, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I bid, I would have to get some work.
Yes.
I would have to get
So
some work.
when Mr.
Now,
Honda...
this government has said to me when I got to them,
Uh-huh.
the contractor took one big job because that's what the money we have. And they decided that they would share up X of it on a proportionate basis to the Jamaican. And you go to negotiate. And your job to negotiate. With the guy negotiate, come to Fitz and Charles. The bridge will allow us.
It will.
The bridge will allow us to go and sit down on your behalf.
Indeed.
You are the lawyer and I'm the union man.
Exactly.
Can't have a better team than that.
Boss a combination. But listen to me. We have to look and be conscious of this, and we don't begrudge anybody their profit, But what we say is there is a distinction between profit and advantage taking.
Listen, I thought you were going to say we have to be careful of what we do because there are, and I'm going to use the word contractors, who are unhappy with their relationship, and they're not just the walk-away ones. Do I need to go any further?
No, I got you.
So, as a nationalist, you have to look broader, and you have to look, my friend say, X plus. For the one that have the hardest point.
Yes.
The country will make a sacrifice for the Jamaican, not making it for the...
No. And so...
But the government has to look that there's a thing called the X. They're either X in or X out. It's a dangerous word, X put you in and X put you out.
Well, you see, but that is the bottom line that always you use, and I acknowledge that stumps everything. If the next election is the litmus test for all propriety, we're not going anywhere.
But how long did we decide that?
Well, we decided a long time, but unfortunately, that is still where we are. Otherwise, because at the bottom, when everything is said and done, yes, I am anxious to see what the bill for that St. Thomas Road is, as I was for the extension of the East-West thing. Yes, because we end up paying double and triple.
But.
And some of the members, excuse me, sir, some of the members of the political directorate, yes. And you're not going to press me to give names, but it shouldn't surprise. They get so much money from these contractors by way of whatever means, that they will never be the leaders to set that balance straight that you
Why
speak
don't
of.
you put something to say? It is my impression, because if you knew about it, you'd have told the right man, and you would have exposed it.
You?
You'd have told me right now,
Uh-huh.
and I'll expose it.
Yes.
I told you already.
Yeah.
Put me up, open me clean before them.
Uh-huh.
Which man
Yes.
ever buy me a drink?
Yeah. No, you.
Which man ever?
I don't.
No, but
I
there are
don't
many. I'm
accuse
not.
you. And
There are many of them had mothers like me, and
Indeed.
mothers of them have friends
Indeed.
like me.
Many of
Now,
them.
hold the word.
Mhm.
Because you're going to ask me, are you suggesting that there are none?
Mm-hmm.
Please don't ask me that question.
You see, sometimes, this could be as much a monologue as a dialogue. Because your head gone way ahead of me, but you're right where I was going.
Yes.
So there you are. There's another aspect to it while we wait on Dr. Lascelles Graham. He's on? Is he on, Jeff? Dr. Lascelles Graham, are you there? Not yet? Okay, when he comes, we'll carry this point as much as we can.
Are you going to look at what's going on in Israel?
Oh man, look at it. Well, let's do that. This is supposed to be a civilized world. What has happened to humanity? How can we? And then what a disappointment, Mr. Biden.
And he has tried his best to straighten me out a little.
Uh-huh.
When he made a statement
Uh-huh.
about the desperate operation that took the hospital.
But that was an afterthought.
Well, to be God bless it, even come after.
Yeah, all right.
Because there's some people don't come yet. Now, let me say this to you. When I look at the people from Hamas
Uh-huh.
and look at what's happening in the hospital
Yeah.
and see the tears and the thing that they're going, how you could convince me, say, them mash up them hospital if you go do that?
I have the same lack of conviction that you do. I can't
The
believe
nationalists that they
it.
are,
Yes. No, can't.
you have to put me under a steam press.
Yes,
to
in order to
out
get you
of
to
me.
that. More on that later. Lascelles Graham, greetings.
Greetings to you and Mr. Charles, Ronnie.
Mr. Lascelles Graham,
Hi, how you doing, Ferdinand?
you're still here with us, right?
Still here.
But of
still
course,
here.
Yes, yes.
Lascelles Graham, today we want to return to the subject of commercializing sport. I take an extreme position. I believe the nature of sport is so sublime. It is so important in the terms of embedding cultural values of competition, of fair play, of camaraderie, that once you bring money into it at any level, you are debasing it, and you are debasing human interaction accordingly in every sense. I mentioned in inviting you today that I think it's the owner of Barcelona Football Club is now being sanctioned for doing what? Over a period of years, for giving some $7 million to referee, one referee and his son. To do what? Influence the games. This negates sport. This makes it worse than Roman gladiatorship.
I thought you were going to say make it worse than Jamaica.
Well, let Lascelles Graham tell us about that. I'm taking an absolute position. You modify it, and let's talk about what we see and know in Jamaica. Recently, we have had what schools being sanctioned in schoolboy football because of overage. They put overage players in there, or players ineligible players. Why do they do that if not to gain some advantage which has some monetary connection?
Right. Well, that's a mouthful, Reverend.
It is, Ronnie.
But my position is not as extreme. I believe that, there are always limits, there are always boundaries. And I suppose it is so in just about everything that we have to have some balance, some equilibrium that is that doesn't make us inhumane and dishonest and whatever. So I believe I have nothing against the industry of sports, and I think that it has its place, But like everything else, we have to have our yardsticks and our rules, regulations, and what have you. My position is that the role of sports at the school level is very different from the role of sports at other levels outside of school, and that at the school level, its role is primarily and overwhelmingly one of socializing or helping to socialize our children, so that they can have the proper values, attitudes, and what have you, skills, life skills. I think that when you get to the club level and so on, where it is a money affair, like all other businesses, it has to be regulated and regulated properly, because you run the risk of what I term rabid capitalism taking over, where money is the only standard, and I think essentially that is what has seeped back into our school sports, and that is where I'm concerned. This individual interest above all else, above community, above society's interest. So that's how I see it.
May I ask you to bring in something? So, I have a problem with sports versus education, and I put an emphasis on versus education. I think that the team of top class men who are putting themselves, or who have been put in charge of sports island-wide, if they were given the job or made the request, or they continue to want to do it, and put education as a standard for you to get into that sport, we'd have more children going forward. Right now, every school is just want to have a football team, and then a netball team, and the rest can't read and can't write. My request, sir, if I am not, and I'm not, I'm not going to say if I'm wrong. I'm going to say, based on my observation, sports can, like music, can help education in Jamaica better than, or just as good as teachers. I don't want you just to take away two boys because they can't kick football. I want the whole school to know, say, listen, if you're bright, if you come first, if you're up there, if you're ready, football is ready for you. Right now, is there a separation?
What you say, Morgan?
Well, the thing is...
Listen to this man.
Yes, the thing is that I think that context is a little different to how I see it. In the sense that in our schools, the primary purpose of our schools is formal education. To formally educate our children, focus primarily on the area, academic, technical, and vocational areas. That is the primary thrust of our schools. They have a secondary thrust, which is to help in the socialization of our children, so that they can get the proper values, attitudes, life skills, behaviors, and so on. So, and they should work hand in hand at school level. In other words, every child who goes to a school, whether he is, and I'm just not talking about sports now, I'm talking about sports under the umbrella of extracurricular, co-curricular activities.
Yes.
So that that is their role. Their role is to whomever is at the school, whether a nerd, a bright guy, or a dunce, or a football star, or a runner, or whatever. Whomever is at the school, the sports or the extracurricular activities, work on them to get them to understand the principles that we want to inculcate. Because I'm sure you know that we can have very bright people, and we do have very bright people, who are criminals and criminal-minded. And we want to ensure this balance. And that is why I am very upset with our schools, where we are overemphasizing this business of winning at sports. That is not the role of sports in school.
Sir, I want to disturb you.
I can say to you, for example, there was this young man, Antonio Watson, who did, it couldn't have been a better race at the World Championship and beat the world again, Jamaica. Came first in a fantastic race. And there it is, when we checked, there are a whole ton load of people in Kingston from the traditional schools and so on who wanted to take him from Petersfield. And there was no reason to do that. And they do it for one reason, because of this business, which emanates from the same thing we're talking about, the unbridled capitalist individualism, win at all costs approach, you know. And if that had happened, they would be taking him to better facilities and better coaches in Kingston and what have you. Well, it is unnecessary. And here it is. Had he gone, if he didn't have the advice of I think it was his uncle or grandfather, to say, no, you know, let's do it here. The children of Petersfield would not be associated with the brilliance and excellence with which they are now associated, right? The community would not be able to say, look here, we brought a boy from scratch, and we can do it, and build up their self-confidence, you know? And we wouldn't be building up our little schools, which we need to do if we say we want to give quality education to all our children. The only way we're going to do it is build up a little school, and these things help so to do. So that is my problem.
Got you. As you know, I agree with you. What do you say, Pernell?
What he says here, if he was saying this to the principals and the rest of us outside the school, I would not say what I have said. Yeah. There are some people who all them can do is kick a football. Them can't send them in to come out. And I am saying to him, what he has just presented to us, if he documents that and said to the headmasters of some of the school and the headmistresses, we'll come for your boy, we'll work with your girl, but they have to be up top. That when them, I know, for example, one of the sports leaders from a top school in Kingston went to St. Mary, sit on in the what do you call it?
Stand.
The stand. Watch who kicking right and watch who kicking left. And when it was all over, he called a little boy, where your mother? Went to the mother and said, we like the way your boy is operating. We want to take him to Kingston. We will, no, don't laugh yet. Don't laugh yet.
Yeah, but,
because it came to me. He said, we will board him.
Sure.
We'll give him special educational assistance.
And the dame can't kick again, what happened?
And he will kick with us.
And suppose he'll not kick again?
No.
Actually.
And even then?
Actually.
May I say what my problem is with that?
Of course.
That was better than those who just say, why they look good, send him come to me.
Well.
May I tell you my problem with that?
Yes.
Pernell?
Yes.
Yes. I feel, you see, we operate in a system, you see?
Yes.
We operate in an education, socialization system.
I love the word.
School, yes, the school is one of the two main socializing agents of society. It's the family first and the school, right? The two main socializing agents of society. And we say in Jamaica, like a number of other places, look here, we want to offer quality education to all our children. But guess what? We're not at that stage. We're not offering the quality education to all. There are certain schools that do that. And we want to ensure that we match the school with the children who are most prepared to deal with this quality education. In other words, it makes no sense to my mind sending a boy or a girl who thinks that 1 + 1 is 11 to a school where you have these exposed to the best chemistry lab, the best physics lab, a high school, the best physics lab, the best computer facilities, and so on and so forth. We're wasting scarce resources. So we try to match them. So we say, look here, to get into this school, you do an exam. And the people who show themselves most prepared to deal with these things, which they can choose and go to these schools. Fine. Now, I am saying to you, that is the criterion. So we must stick to it. In other words, if it is that we have a boy in the school who is a big boy and so on, fine, the school discover him. But the school is, and the sports is still about getting values and attitudes, all of them. So in other words, if in a school you only have pure left-footed, 2 left-foot people who can't kick a ball at all, right? But that is the best you have. You must use them to represent you. They are the school. Why are you bringing in somebody because he can kick football? It's a double standard.
Well, no, apart from I insist on extending it. You are doing it because you are less concerned about the values of sport than you are about the competitive advantage of your school and the financial status and pedigree that it has. And that is that to me is to undermine and diminish what a school is for, and it indicates a mindset which is what is killing this whole country, where you win at all costs and you get away and do it whatever you can. Yes, and no matter who you hurt, no matter what institution you fail to allow to develop. Yes, provided you get through, whether your name is X college or Y company. So long as you get through, the rest everybody's supposed to give you CD and OJ, and the rest of people. Oh my goodness!
And I'm saying,
let them eat cake.
But sir, look here.
Yes.
I'm saying
and
to
I'm
you.
saying this. I just want to say this quickly, that I believe, you see, that you don't have to be a space scientist or a neurosurgeon type to play sports. And I am saying...
But play sports for fun.
Well,
and for colleagues.
I am saying that if it is, since we are so gung-ho on sports, all right? Since we are so gung-ho on sports, and this has been happening for umpteen years, I mean, we must put together this sports academy, or academies in the various places, and have this route where if we see a boy on the street and for some reason or the other he didn't go to school, he is 16 now, whatever, but he's a brilliant runner, he's a brilliant ball and thing, he has a route to represent the country and to develop his skill. But school cannot be everything to everybody.
So school should
and
not.
again, I think that this is one of the things, breaking the rules, you see. The people know the rules, the children know the rules, When you break the rules and they see their leadership
You are teaching them so...
Sir, let me
right.
disturb you. I want you, as the position that you are in, to say to principals, you have some bright girls and boys in the sports section, what is their background in the other section? How are they socialized, right? Or if you take them from country, come to town, you make sure that they just come to town to kick football. They come to town to pass CXC, they come to town to develop, because this thing don't go over 35, You have nearly, you have nearly 50 years to live after you finish sports,
Yes,
So therefore, the thing that should be mostly, they're not going to be all the bolt. They're not going to be all the pocket racket, right? Some of them, you don't hear from the minute they run a stadium, I don't hear from them again.
She's a sensible woman in terms of how she approaches.
But the fact is this, I think the thrust is back ways, We have the cart before the horse. What our schools should be doing, and I'm talking primarily our high schools, what we should be doing is we should be out there scouting for the young people who, for one reason or the other, fell through the
cracks.
The cracks, right? And have brilliant potential in the various things that are the thrust of the school.
Yeah. What do you mean that? What do you mean that that's what we should be doing?
Holy question.
That's what we should be doing. We're not doing it. We're looking for
what do you expect, Mr. Ronnie Tweet, a former minister of education, to tell you today, backing up, that I would like to hear your top organization.
I'll tell you.
Your top leadership.
Yes.
Take that stand so that a man only really say if him can kick football in Ghana town. And then after him drop out, after him first football, you don't hear from him again.
Let me explain the resistance after we come back from a short break. Muggy Graham, hold on. This is important stuff. We're on the bridge. This is a public eye. Thanks for being with us on the Public Eye. This is the Bridge 99 FM, that extraordinary experiment in radio which radiates news, views from Jamaica to the diaspora and vice versa, back from them to us. You can watch it any time of the day or night. It's not just radio, it's video as well, so we're happy to bring you to appeal to every sense that you have. Dr. Lascelles Graham, activist for football values and for values in the society, is our guest. Pernell Charles is the co-host. I wanted to tell you both, remind you, Lascelles, known as Muggy Graham, and Pernell. When I was in government, I put forward a policy, a draft of a policy, or rather invited ISA, the Intersecondary School Sports Association, to come up with a policy regarding basically the buying of schoolboy talent.
Yeah.
And I reminded them, I spoke with them. They said, oh yes, they would be willing to come forward with that. They never did. Because they didn't want to. Because there are elements within the alumni groups and other interests in the society who feel that it no matter, and that in fact why interfere with it? Let the youth them get a better chance, and I want my team to win, and therefore...
No, you're missing a point. They want a chance that bring money.
Say it.
Not value to a person.
Thank you, boy, Mr. Charles, you helped me today. I couldn't say it that way. The fact of the matter is that we are trying. The Inter-Secondary Schools Association is in my view culpably, recklessly weak in respect of how they
Here.
Yes.
And
Dr.
principals too.
Dr. Graham, when I listen to your presentation, I wish that every headmaster who have the responsibility of our children, when you send your picnic to school, You put everything in the hand of the teacher. In
Yes.
fact, the teachers are spending more time with some children than parents.
But we are importing footballers from St. Lucia and Guyana now, you know, B.
Yes, yes. And we've been importing track people from all Africa.
Yes.
But
And
you
the
know what
fact-
happened now?
and
The
the- and
thing
the
is
fact-
this. I want to say this quickly because I remember that there was an education minister who had a meeting at the Ministry of Education with ISA people and so on, who are principals of schools. And, you know, people keep saying, oh, you know, the boys get scholarship for them. A lot of them get scholarship. And if it wasn't for the recruiting, them wouldn't get and this, that, blah. I remember the minister said, okay, look here, we have this anecdotal thing where so much good is being done for the recruited. Let us put some numbers to it. And I will get a reputable firm, research firm, and the firm will come to the schools and, you know, do the necessary research. So we can know what really happened to these recruits. And everybody there, yes, we will open our books and they can come and see. In other words, after before and after. After 3 months, the recruiting, this research firm had to give up in frustration, you know. The schools would open their books, you know.
While you were talking, my co-host cheek went red as if he either knew about it or he was the man behind the desk.
No.
Because that is what we are now saying no.
But we're going
I
deeper
want
into
you,
it.
Mr. Graham, believe me, I want to hear it. I want to see it in the press.
No.
Because if you
Nobody could
said
write
to
more
the
than Monkey
principals, in my position,
Yes.
I have to protect the future of these boys and girls.
Yeah.
Some of them don't have no
we
father, and the mother is not
but, you know,
up to
Mr.
standard.
Charles, Pernell, we say it, you know, I've said it, repeat. It's not now I start, you know. And what I want to say to you is this. The research firm had to give up in frustration because the school's not opening the book. Why do you think the school's not opening the book? Because they know that the great majority of these recruits go nowhere. They know that.
Yeah.
But they are out there saying we're giving all, you know, whole heap of scholarship and I'm telling you, it is not. Look, we have a crisis of socialization or of poor socialization in Jamaica today. We have a crisis, and we are going on as if it's nothing. And I'm saying to you, I am not saying that extracurricular activities can cure or is the silver bullet. But we have to use everything possible to help. And it can help. And sports can be exceedingly powerful if we have a policy which forces its use in a way that is supposed to be used in schools. You know, I mean, I heard Dr. Mackay, I think his name is. He has a security firm.
Yes.
And he
writes very good columns.
Right. And he wrote a column recently about Jose Marti and the fact that they were so disciplined, the school, because he has been to a number of schools and he especially praised them for their discipline and so on, and said that one of the things that contributed to it was the fact that, you know, they had, I don't know what are their rules, but they had a number of people in the cadet corps and other things. And one of the things I keep saying is that is how, because cadet corps is an extracurricular activity.
Of course, and a very important one.
And that is how extracurricular activities, including sports, should be used.
Yes.
Whomever is there, you don't go outside to bring in a good cadet to school.
No, you take who
Whomever
is there and
you
build them.
fashion.
You take who's
Yes.
there and build them a
And-
good
course.
cadet.
And what I'm saying is this. People have used different... I keep going to the Jamaican lady who was in England, the principal of a school.
Yes.
and of a failing school and turned it around using the arts.
Yes.
So that the school, the children develop tremendous self-confidence and self-belief and self-worth, and it helped them to be better citizens and to be better students.
Yes.
But Jamaica is not doing that. Jamaica is so heavily focused on our schools winning this sport and that sport. We have turned the thing on its head.
Well, I would like to because time is on us, I'd like to make 2 pointed recommendations. First of all, many of our schools are those which are able to bring in talent from outside, under whatever arrangement or pretext, are owned or sponsored by either trusts or by churches. And they ought to take a clear position on this matter, that you are not helping the morals, you are not encouraging fair play, balance, proper set of priorities when you do this, and therefore we will not do this anymore. Calabar, JC, KC, St. George's, all of them. And I also say two other points that you can comment on. The government of Jamaica, whoever the government is, the Minister of Sports needs to say, listen now, this is the standard that we want to be maintained. Yes, they don't
needs
have
to be the Prime Minister.
Of course.
Prime Minister needs to say,
2
right down.
and 3,
Sports
where you have 1 minute, where you have a sponsoring group like Grace Kennedy, which so wonderfully and purposefully and supports champs. Yes, they need to say, listen here, the same way Don Webby last year, when there was any kind of lack of sportsmanship in a decision taken, said, no, Grace is not in this. They need to extend that and understand what is going on. And they and others simply say, look here now, this is what we are standing for. This is a proper understanding of what sports is and who ought to be engaged in it. What about that Pernell Childs and Morgan Graham?
Definitely. And let me say this. I noticed the other day, I spoke about Jose Marti, and boy, I was so happy to hear that. But on the other hand, right away, I see the Veer Technical got in a new coach, and the first thing he's stressing is recruiting, because he says Veer has fallen down on that.
Yeah. What Veer has fallen down is the absence of his talent, and if he has talent must be used to bring up those who are there, not those who we can import from somewhere else.
He's stressing recruiting.
But he doesn't even understand what's in the best interest of his own reputation.
It seems not.
So what you need to do is to get somebody who can teach them and bring them into the school.
We're talking about values and attitudes, you know.
Yeah, but
it's all well and good for Dean Editorial and Observer and Prime Minister to speak about. This is values and attitudes now.
Look how fortunate we are.
Yes, sir.
There's something in society that these boys can be attracted to.
Yes.
Sports.
Yes.
Then
and we're not using it as we should use it.
Set the gauge to them.
Yeah.
Say to this college and this college, we have the Grahams. Grahams can come in 5 people. They come in. This is your quota. This is what you're going to do.
I don't agree with that.
You know.
Yeah.
We don't need any quota.
English one and maths and this.
What we need to do is to keep the standards clear and the principles. Moggy Graham, we're always grateful for you. Keep trucking, man. Glad to hear from you.
We're proud to listen
all
to
the
you.
best.
And I hope that
yes, Dr. Lascelles Graham, retired
your
footballer.
Ideas can go to the schools.
Yes, man, an advocate for fairness and proper priorities in the schoolboy football. Time for a break on the Public Eye. This is a Bridge 99 FM. When we come back, Fitz Jackson joins us. Thanks for being with us on the Public Eye. This is a Bridge 99 FM. I tell you, this station is different. It's devoted to people, Jamaicans, Jamaican lovers, living abroad, wanting to know what to go on on the rock. And also we want to hear from you what your views are about Jamaican affairs or anything that touch you, you see. The numbers are 876-551-5782 or 876-676-4996. The Honorable Pernell Childs and myself host this program, anxious to hear from you. Coming up in about 10 minutes time, Fitz Jackson member of the House of Representatives and proponent of a legislative change that would affect the fees that banks are allowed to charge us. And there's been a decision in court, not the final decision, which can affect what's going to happen. And it seems that the bank itself kind of backed down as if they're finally acknowledging what they have been taking from us. In the meanwhile, Mr. Charles, I want to bring up one other thing for your comment. Last week, there was a report by the Integrity Commission, yes, the watchdogs of public service accountability, about the breach of a building condition involving the president of the Water Commission, Mr. Barnett, and his wife, who is a noted attorney at law. And what happened is that they got a approval to build 12 one-bedroom apartments.
Yes.
And in the building of it, they extended the approval, breached the approval by building 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom apartments. And the Integrity Commission says, obviously that's not right, and that that compromises his own position as a public servant head of an important government agency, the National Water Commission, and also raises questions about the ethics of the attorney at law, his wife. Okay? Now, I have no comment to make about the particular instance. I'm not trying for us to try it on this through this medium. But what I want to tell you is that to my strong, you always correct me, you say I mustn't say knowledge, my impression, but it's a little bit more impression here. There are, you see all them high-rise apartment building around the place here? Most of them, yes, what dep on the ground or dep in the air, yes, is different from what the approval was for. And what for studio turn into 1-bedroom, what for 1-bedroom turn into 2-bedroom, and what for 2-bedroom turn into 3-bedroom, because obviously you get much more profit from the larger accommodation.
You are listening to me.
Here again, no.
No, hold on, no. I'm speaking to a gentleman who is supposed to be one of these contractors.
Yes, sir.
He asked me if I have 3 1-bedrooms,
yes, sir,
on one side on the floor, can I take out the wall and make it one 3-bedroom? I said, you can ask me that. I am not an architect.
Yeah.
I don't have the legal right to tell you.
Yeah.
But on the other side, as a parliamentarian, you had 3 bedrooms. If you want to change that, you go back to the KCAC and say, look, I want to take out the sides and make it to 1 3-bedroom.
Right.
Now, is that what they're doing?
No.
I don't know.
It may be, but what I'm going to tell you is that the system of inspection it either doesn't exist or unfortunately it is not very, let me put it this nicely, careful. And there is an amount of racket that goes on in respect of those things that make the whole argument about planning and approvals and the probity of inspection and local government highly suspect. And therefore, while I make no judgment as to what the Integrity Commission and others have said, these people are scapegoats for what others have been doing and getting away with it because they do not come under the scrutiny of a body like the Integrity Commission.
Well, let me tell you something that I know.
So we better stop this foolishness.
When I was minister, there was a building before my office.
Yes, sir.
That had an approval for, I think, two stories. And they finished 4 stories.
Right.
And
that's
when they were about to open it, the people arrived on the lot and said, no opening.
Oh.
And I know it was there for the 3 years locked up.
Yeah.
And I can't drive it down there now. All windows are flying wide open.
Yes.
No, so what happened? When one set of people turn it down, it just wait until another set of persons coming and open up. Right down at South Avenue here.
So where was so damn general?
Well, I don't know.
Because money into it, because the system no right.
I wanted to give Desmond McKenzie some credit.
Oh?
when he was breaking down this one on South Avenue.
You never break it down.
Yeah, well, yeah, man, the one that was on the wall were broke down.
Oh, okay.
Two were broke down, right? They were on the wall, you know, on the sidewalk wall, you know.
Oh.
Now, I'm only talking about that. I don't.
But how did it get to that stage? What you're paying building inspector for, if it can get to the stage where it's something as egregious as a wall up on the sidewalk, and it has to escalate to a minister do this, Mr. Charles?
Because they know that when the right inspector comes or the other inspector comes.
So I go back to my question.
So
what happened at the level of the municipal corporation? Yes, you're going to tell me that man is a permanent employee, so him still there. Yes, listen to me. We have this whole development business. Yes, runs a risk. Choosing my words carefully, of being a racket, and people not talk about it. Yes, and therefore what people do is you get the approval. Yes, and you make sure the inspector is okay. You don't even have to search. Just don't come. Yes, right. And you go ahead and do your thing, and you get through. You get your titles, and the mortgage company glad for lending money, and everything Chris and Curry.
You know something?
And then the sewage system don't work.
I was discussing this with one of my friends. He said, Perna, you know what you don't know?
Yeah.
There are 62 of you as parliamentarians. But there are 600 inspectors. And the 62, you don't know nothing.
Yeah, your friend right.
You don't know nothing.
So it come out now. But I poor man to say, I have had to interact with Mr. Barnett.
Yes.
Over time, and I think of him as being a good person. Yes. I neither defend nor oppose nor detract in this particular instance. All I know is that the
you don't say him not the only one.
What? This is the norm. This is the norm. Yes, I would love if, for the Integrity Commission or whosoever else, government minister, yes, regulatory agency, to do an audit of the approvals versus what they're on the ground here, and putting stress on the infrastructure. And when they find that, you see, then you can make a case to my satisfaction.
Well, I tell you better than that. I tell you a little addition to that. I still wonder where we are going to find soil to carry these multi-story 12 and 14. When I was minister, I had the same problem with hotels. Yeah. And we were fortunate that the government was able to help the fire units to bring in that they can go 3 or 4 stories.
Sure.
Now these go on 12 stories.
12 stories and big competition to go 17. Yes? There we go.
I don't know about...
Well, we know. Fitz Jackson, greetings. Not yet? Okay, couple of minutes.
No, man. I want to ask Fitz, I want to ask you because you are in this. Why is this Fitz Jackson alone?
Well, let him tell you, but I can tell you.
Why the alternate government? If it's strong.
We all voted for it.
Eh?
We all voted for it.
Well, you voted for it.
When the twice that Fitz motion has come up in Parliament,
yes,
everyone on the opposition side voted for it.
Yeah, well, stop calling it Fitz Jackson.
All right.
Right? Because it's what it should be, an alternate.
Yes, an alternate proposal. Thank you for that. Exactly. I accept that.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah, no, and
because
I grant you.
Then we are here to protect not PNP and JLP, but some people who don't join PNP or JLP, but have a problem with the bank. But some people don't have a problem.
To my certain knowledge, yes, there are many people on the government side, members of Parliament, who strongly favour what Fitz is proposing because of its rightness, because of its justice. Yes, because they themselves understand the advantage taking of the financial institutions. Yes, and they are prevented from voting. So I'm going to suggest let me give a prips for the conversation. I'm going to suggest that Fitz Jackson say to the Speaker, let us have a conscience vote. You have served as a Speaker. Why not have a conscience vote?
I wouldn't have a problem if you asked that. That's up to the Parliament.
Sure, but if you put it forward.
You get up and I move that so 8 persons vote,
Uh-huh.
drop it in a box.
Drop it in a box. Have a
And
conscience
put a
vote.
name on it. You
That's
put
right.
a name on it for conscience vote.
You do?
Yeah, but it's a conscience. You have to know who.
Well, why you have to know?
Well, how
Because
how do
no,
you know
some people are afraid. But once it is only the members voting, yes,
Yes.
you don't put you vote yes or you vote no. It's a secret ballot.
Yes.
So that's you and you express but you are
You don't have to go any further. You'll
you're
have my support. on
released
that,
from the whip.
that if he carry a resolution
Yeah.
to Parliament
Yeah.
and ask,
Uh-huh.
Madam Speaker, and at the end of our discussion,
Yeah.
I move
That'd be
that
got you.
that-
That's good. Yes, that's
that we have
a conscience vote. Yeah. So at least people will feel free. Yes.
and at least it won't be the PNP supporting and the JLP
No.
oppose.
No.
To the Parliament.
Yes. And if it came out, let me just go further. If I were there, or if you were there, if it came out that that the side I didn't agree with, yes, came out in the majority, I would say accept that. Leave it. It's not ready now, or that's not the majority. Yes.
Yes.
But where the whip is applied because of because they are the captives
Yes.
of special interests. Yes, that is not democracy.
And they may not be the captive of special interest, but they are directives. They are directives.
But what is the so? Of course, directed by so and so. Don't do this.
By those who have the authority to say.
Yeah, but then why are those persons doing that? They're doing that either because
No,
they have
no.
some skin in the game.
Let's not prejudice the position. Let us put it forward. Hold on.
Don't-
Let's put it
Don't
forward.
go soft. Don't go soft, Pete
I'm not
Charles.
softing, but I understand the politics too.
You do.
So if we
Better
say,
than most.
if the resolution say, and Madam Speaker, I move
Uh-huh.
that members of Parliament
Yeah.
be free to vote
Uh-huh.
and put it in a box.
Yes. Yes.
Yes or no.
Uh-huh.
You're going to have some PNP yes and some JLP no.
Well, let
and
us-
some JLP yes and some PNP.
That to me,
Once you have that, you shut it door.
that I would accept that. You see
Yeah.
that now we can come to a clear acceptance on that score. I know Fitz Jackson is finishing a meeting of the Public Administration and Accountability Committee, but he said that he would be available to us around about.
All right, well, I have
1:15.
something that I
yes,
want-
man. You let's go on in the meanwhile. He'll try him again.
I have something that is bothering me, Randy.
What is that?
I don't think that not you, listening to the nightly news of the police capturing guns and speeders and this and that we have said to them, good going, let us support you to go.
Let me
Now,
tell you. Yes, go ahead. You finish.
When I see the amount of guns they're bringing in,
Uh-huh.
and I said to myself, where are these guns?
Coming from.
No. After you capture them, where they are.
Okay, I got you. Yes.
And I see a flash on the TV one night.
Uh-huh.
A whole heap of gun put on in one room.
Uh-huh.
And I want to say, if I am right, I want to say to those in the authority, you can't have it that way.
No, there's
because they come in and they go out.
Yeah.
Now, if you label them,
Uh-huh.
record them,
Uh-huh.
and you know that 5 guns was picked up last week, here are the 5,
Uh-huh.
that, and then you're going to break up with all. But you can't just show
So
them.
let me take your
one
point.
other point. Hold
Yes,
that point.
All right.
One other point. The amount of people they're arresting, where are they?
In lockup,
Where you find so much lockup?
they don't have it. They pile them
Where
together.
you find so much food?
Yes.
Something not right.
Yes.
Every night, every day here,
and
all of these bad men, where they are?
Uh-huh. Well,
Together one place?
yes, most of them, and
Ronnie,
plenty of them.
Ronnie.
Plenty of them no lockup neither.
Let me tell you something. I am concerned, but I want to ask a question to the right
First.
people
Okay.
before I make any criticism
Yes, uh-huh.
or any statement that can look like I'm criticizing
Yeah.
or supporting
Yeah.
what I don't know.
Well, okay,
but I
so-
am concerned
and you're-
about
that-
where the guns go.
That's a careful-
and where the people that come in.
Let
where-
me.
And as a lawyer now, you tell me about this bail thing.
I don't know. Well, I'm going to tell you about the bail thing, but let's talk about pick up from you about the firearms first.
Yes.
When a firearm is captured,
Yes.
unless it is in a case where the case will turn on actual presentation of it.
Yes.
You know, could it fire this bullet,
Right.
or something like? Was it effective to fire it,
Yeah.
or was it a play gun or something? Unless it falls into that character, my view is that gun should be destroyed immediately.
Yes.
Take picture of it. Yes. Do
recording.
Do whatever recording you can about it. Yes, and then you destroy it immediately.
Yes.
You lead us. The Lord's Prayer says, "Lead us not into temptation," because when it throw down in the way that you saw the clip,
Yes.
it as you say, the likelihood is, the possibility is that it has gone back on the street.
What is it? The possibility is that it can.
It can.
I won't say it is.
Well,
So I want to say to Mr. Fitz Bailey, and I want to congratulate them. Listen, I congratulate the announcements that are coming from there. What I want to further do is congratulate you to let me know. There was a time when I was a minister, that what was under my portfolio, but there was a big destruction
I have a little
out of sea, you remember?
Yes, I remember, and I remember one case too of a police officer who, unfortunately, at the rank of sergeant, was convicted for having leaked out all kinds of ammunition and weapons.
That was taken in by others.
Were taken in.
That's my concern.
So destroy. Photographic technology allows us to do everything,
yes,
and then destroy it right away.
Right.
We should be destroying 100 guns a week if that's what we get.
Yes.
No, but you're congratulating, and I always want to join you on that. But I don't congratulate people for doing their job. Yes, that's what they're there for, me and you. But I would be more congratulating the police if I knew that there weren't, after all they bring in, yes, that there weren't more coming in.
Well, that's not the first word you said. You don't congratulate people for what they're supposed to do. Well, I know the man who came and congratulate me for you.
Okay. For what I do.
I see. Congratulate. My mother always said, congratulations, give
Sweet.
Encouragement.
Indeed.
Sweet
And she's,
therefore,
I will yield to your mother right away.
I tell you something. Because I have had the privilege of policemen riding with me for a few years.
Yes.
And I know the pressure.
Yes, they're under.
When his wife called and you're coming home tonight?
Yeah.
No.
I never had that pressure.
Me?
I didn't want it. When we come back, Fitz Jackson is on. Fitz, greetings.
Good afternoon to you, Ronnie. Good afternoon to you, Pernell. Good afternoon to your listeners.
What a way you
Sorry
sound.
for my being late. I actually had a committee meeting.
I understand that.
What a way you sound upset today. What happened?
Must have had a good committee meeting.
Well, a little distressed, yes, but you know.
There you are.
But probably because I know I'm going to share audience with you guys.
Well, that's very kind of you. Fitz Jackson.
Including Pernell, you know. Don't
of course. No, he's anxious. Unsupported. The motion that Fitz Jackson has brought before the Parliament, our listeners need to know, is regarding the moderation of bank fees that are charged to every customer for the encashment of their own checks and for other elements of business without the permission and so it is claimed beyond the legal remit of the banks. We've spoken with Fitz Jackson before. We know the history that unfortunately there have been 2 votes in Parliament, in which case each instance the government members, the JLP members, have solidly voted against, and the PNP members equally in favor of. I gather, though, Fitz Jackson, that your suit before the Supreme Court has had a particular stage reached that it's important for you to tell us about, and also that the defendant in this instance, your bank, the Bank of Nova Scotia, has taken certain actions which point in a particular direction.
Yes, thanks. Yes, as you have rightfully, correctly said, the bill before Parliament is one that seeks to moderate the charging of fees, variety of fees to account holders and persons doing transactions with the banks. Amongst them is, fees for making deposit, fees for withdrawal, fees for cash and check encashment, fees for information on their accounts, and a variety of different fees that the banks are being charged, customers are being charged, arbitrarily. The matter before the court is with BNS is not about the fairness of fees or a fee charge. In this case, the check encashment fee. It is about the illegality of that fee because existing legislation, namely the bills of exchange, explicitly prohibits the charging of a fee. In fact, it defines a check and it explicitly states that a check properly signed, properly what they call perfected in terms of having the date, the name of the payee, the amount written on its signature, etc. The bank is obligated to encash that check without any condition. So the law says that it's a negotiable instrument to be honored unconditionally. What BNS did to me was to impose a condition for the encashment. And the condition that they impose is my paying them a fee of $285, as they have been doing to numerous other Jamaicans, unemployed persons, pensioners, marginally employed, small businesses. These fees have cumulative impact on the individual. So it's not the illegality of just $1,385, but also the cumulative effect on persons who have accounts with the banks. Where we are in the in the process now, Ronnie, is case management, which we had last week, and it has been adjourned until the 17th of next month because the exercise was not completed. But interestingly, in the further amended defense that has been filed, and it's public document, so I'm not giving any secret. In the defense filed by BNS, they have indicated that they have now terminated the charging of fees for encashing of checks, both for customers and non-customers of their bank. That I commend and I applaud. It's only regrettable.
No. So you win.
We win insofar as the imposition of it, yes.
And they gave you back the money that they charged you.
They have sent it back, but I've instructed my lawyers not to. I'm not taking it until the matter is completed, because in the suit before the court, there are a number of things. I was humiliated. I was denied the full value of the check by that imposition of the fee, which was an illegally charged fee. I have asked the bank to declare that is in fact illegal for them to have charged me that fee, as they have charged thousands and thousands of other persons. That is a question that is yet to be answered. Is it that they have breached the law or not? While they file that they have acknowledged my claim, they have failed to acknowledge that they have breached the law and wrongly and illegally collected that monies from me. And of course, there are other claims, such as my legal expenses.
Sure.
And I want to commend my lawyers, Anthony Williams and Annette Henry,
yes,
who have provided their services to guide the exercise through this process.
But let me ask you that. Does that mean that the bank is now accepting to return all Ronnie's money, all mine and yours, but because of what you consider suffering through that, you would like something more?
Well, I apply law. You have a very eminent lawyer beside you. We have filed for damages, and the courts have a method of determining damages, and we expect for that to prevail.
Okay.
And yes, interest on the monies that have been lost, and lots of opportunities that come from it. All of those will go into damages, but the lawyers are better able to speak to that than I can.
No, but Fitz Jackson,
what is it that him knows? What is it that you would like him to go further with?
I'm glad that he is not just taking his own remedy, which is that they've stopped charging him a fee, and indeed stop charging anybody, and giving him back his money.
You have to give back everybody money.
Well, that's the point, Mr. Charles. Because if he were to say at this stage, okay, I'm satisfied, I'm going to go home, no further in the case, then that would not happen. Whereas if he goes further, has the case tried, gets a declaration, which is almost inevitable given their concession already, Fitz,
Yes.
then then the issue arises: how are they going to repay, or they must repay, the millions and billions of dollars that they have been taking for years illegally, as they themselves admit, from you and me and others? And that is, I have no. This is not. I'm not against banks, but I'm against them arbitrarily and without any and illegally taking away our money, which is in fact what they are now admitting that they have been doing, Fitz Jackson.
But that's a full answer. Let me just clear myself. I don't want them published tomorrow morning that I am not a member of their bank. You understand?
Too afraid.
So, but I am talking about those people who are there. If Fitz is dubbed to have been wrongly
everybody
treated,
must get something.
then everybody should be following that thing.
Are we right?
No, well, the question you pose is a very reasonable one.
Yeah.
But that can only be determined, as you rightfully said, Ronnie, if the court determines that it was in fact a breach of the law and is not just a goodwill gesture on the part of the bank to return me my money and say they will not charge me or any other non-customer or customers of theirs for encashment.
But if they give you back your money, they have to give everybody back.
No, well,
they did not.
I don't understand what the law going to say that
No,
it
their
was
defense did not say
illegal
that.
for you.
No,
and not illegal
they're not acknowledging it. They're saying we did it as a goodwill gesture because we don't want to fight, and we're
They do it for him, goodwill for him.
and indeed for all of us, because they're not charging us that anymore. But what I'm anxious is for the principle to be established that indeed a bank cannot do something which is outside of the Bills of Exchange Act. Am I correct, Fitz?
You're correct. You're correct. And that's
But
what they claim.
if they are giving you back your money based on the court's procedure that you have followed, why Mr. Brown is not being given back his money?
Well, Mr. Brown would have to make his own claim, except, as I expect, the court in this instance is going to make a general proposition, a general finding about the practice, which will in fact flow to your Mr. Brown.
Oh yeah, okay.
But Fitz, there's another thing that's very important, and this is what worries me, that you have had to go to the court to get your remedy, which you should have been able to have vindicated in the House of the People where you sit.
Ronnie, that is the most egregious part of it, you know. That's the most egregious part. And I tell you why. Up until today, Ronnie, neither the Bank of Jamaica, the Minister of Finance, and by extension the Cabinet, has even sought to get a legal opinion from their legal advisor, the Attorney General's Chamber. You believe that?
Well,
Not even as much as to get an opinion.
It tells you who owns them and what they defend.
No, but
But
it
it's
also
obvious.
tells you that you have that they're going to say, why should they tell you?
No,
because it's my business.
Did you say that? Did you say that, Pernell?
I'm asking you.
No. Did you say that?
Hold on, man. I haven't finished. Your resolution in Parliament should bring that out.
But
No, but that's in the answer is in your statement.
The answer is in the statement.
The answer is in your statement just now.
No. What you understand me to say?
No, the answer is in the statement that they refuse to.
it really is bad, you know, Sir P.
No, what?
I mean, Fitz, I want to suggest something. You think the Speaker will give your motion another go round?
Well, put it this way: it is the House leader. It is the House leader that sets the agenda for each sitting. The motion is still on the order paper, right? Begging to reach on the agenda for sitting.
Been there, what, couple of years since the last time?
No, man, it's 5 years now.
5 years now.
That
Since
the
February
court
2018.
what the court has handed down isn't it part of your resolution?
No, the court has not handed on anything yet for them.
But but the issue that the court is dealing with is part of the general approach to the modulation of bank fees and their congruence with the law of the land. Yes?
Correct.
So it is a part of it. So I'm saying no.
Isn't that part of the resolution?
Of course it is.
Yes,
No,
but that's what I'm saying. The court has satisfied
no,
that
not
part.
yet.
No,
Not yet.
no.
It appears the court will do so, given what the defendant, the bank, is conceding.
Yes.
But the court has not made a declaration
Okay,
yet, and
okay.
Fitz is insisting on that. Though that may take a long while yet, Fitz?
Well, I must say, though, I'm a bit heartened by the pace at which the matter has been dealt with by the court, because
Usually these things, God will come first,
Yeah, remember that this one is in the commercial section of the court, which I understand from my lawyer is the more expeditious section of the court.
Yes, it's
but
true.
To have had an adjournment from the 12th of this month to the 17th of next month
is good.
Is good.
Yes.
I am heartened.
In
by
any other
that.
case, it might go on for 3-4 years.
Yeah,
murder
and
included.
that in my mind shows that because I think it's obvious that it's not just about me, personally, but there's a bigger
Indeed,
interest at stake.
and therefore it should be given priority. But the question I want to ask, go back to Parliament now, is that if by some alchemy you were able to persuade the House Leader, who is that again, Mr. Bartlett?
Mr. Bartlett is the House Leader.
If you were able to persuade him to give time for your motion to be brought again, yes, I'm making a strong suggestion that you should, and Pernell agrees with me, that you should amend it or plead that it be subject to a conscience vote at the end of it.
Well, I've been begging for that, I've been pleading for that for some time now.
Really?
I don't know if you recall. Yeah, man, I think on the last show too, I had invited the assistance of Pernell to in that endeavor, and he promised that he would.
Yes.
But hold on. You didn't. That was never debated while I was there.
No, not.
But I promised him
No.
that he could make the presentation
no.
and ask that the resolution having been
So
discussed.
because
I move that people be free to vote according to
Pernell is I am very sure, to my certain knowledge, that there are members on the government side who have spoken to me who would be very anxious to vote in favor, but they dare not because of the whip.
No,
Yes?
they told me that too. Senior members. Too.
Senior members. And
Cabinet members.
And Pernell is of the view that there are some members on the PNP side who are not in favor of it, and who, if they were to have the benefit of a secret vote, would vote against it. I don't know if that is true.
Well, transparency has its merit, And
but
by the end of the day,
but so does courage versus cowardice, Mr. Jackson.
well, you're correct.
I prefer you use courage and conscience,
Yeah.
because
but quite seriously, what you said is correct. I have appealed to the Prime Minister. I appealed to the Prime Minister to take the members from under the whip and allow them to vote for their conscience. Because I know that the banks have lobbied the government, lobbied the Minister of Finance, the Prime Minister very strongly. As they have lobbied me too, let me put it out there. I have been lobbied.
Lobbied to say, drop this thing.
Yeah.
So hold on, no, Fitz.
But lobby to say drop it and then give you back yours.
Well, they'll give him a little
No, man, the lobbying started way before I even got into court.
Okay, so now
that cannot be right.
But it is an order of the day, and it's sad. It can't be right, Pernell. But what has happened? Look at what has happened because of that lobbying, because of the power that these institutions have over, which power is no more than the money you and I give them a little bit to put down, or big bit. Yes, they are able to Shanghai the government. They are able to defeat the people's interest. Yes. Who is supreme in the land?
That is where, for me, Ronnie,
who is supreme in the land? Not the parliament. Not the government with the most honorable and the plenty outriders and woo. None of that. No security can do. It's the money man have it.
I said you cannot remove the running of the country and put it down to the level of who outriders.
No, I'm saying, but them don't have it. That all of that is fluff.
No, the running of the country is what.
You're correct.
The running of the country is what you want to have a standard.
Yes, sir.
And the standard is like what we're talking
So,
about.
is
Don't bring it down to who.
No, I'm saying
No, no, that's what- no,
I'm
that's
saying
what it
the
does.
who
No.
ought to indicate some power, but them don't have no
Yes.
power.
Yeah, who?
Them don't have no power. Is a finance man have the power. Is a bank man is able to come and say to the prime minister, "Don't you dare bring that forward."
Yeah,
or
man,
when
that is
Fitz
what has
bring it,
happened. No,
when Fitz bring it forward, make sure every man jack on your side vote against it.
And I can tell you.
And look at and,
I'm not saying
they
it to the,
succeed.
I'm not saying to one side.
No, I don't.
No,
You're
but,
quite
but
right.
Ronnie,
I
but,
won't-
but Ronnie,
I won't
but
go no
Ronnie,
further.
Ronnie,
Look at what has happened.
Ronnie.
The people's will, the rightness has been defeated to whichever side, by whichever side. All I know is that Fitz for himself, and I know that others support him, is standing up for right. Fitz, your time.
No, I just want to. I want to support everything that you have just said, Ronnie. It's true, because at the end of the day, what the government has said have done is to surrender the protection of the majority of the citizens in favor of the interests of the banks who lobby them. And that's where, for me, that's where corruption is rampant.
Exactly.
When you use your political authority to satisfy the interests of a small minority at the expense of the majority, you can't speak of any higher corruption.
No, and that using your power is with whose money? The very taxpayers' money you are then taken away in fees that are contrary to law.
Well, let
Do you understand that? We have to take a short break. Fitz Jackson, when you come back, let's listen to Pernell and also ask you, where do we go from here in this epic struggle? This is a Public Eye on the Bridge 99. This is a Public Eye on the Bridge 99 FM. Pernell Charles and myself are the hosts. Fitz Jackson is our guest. Fitz Jackson, Pernell has a rejoinder, and then you tell us where we're going from here.
Sure.
Ronnie, Fitz, if I were minister, if I were member, Speaker of the House, and you get the Minister of Finance to agree with the leader of government business, because it's not the Speaker this time, who's going to say the resolution going to come to Parliament. I would say, in my summing up, Madam Speaker, I move the following motion, and I further move that the House be free to vote accordingly.
According to their conscience.
That's right. I don't know if conscience need to come in. Because if
conscience, I like conscience. Conscience speak about morals, Fitz, and it's morals we want, because immorality we they get.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Pernell will be averse to those words. Those are not bad words.
No,
because there are some people who Ronnie say, and he didn't say he has spoken to them, but he knows. Because he's a prophet, so he can prophesy the face of some people.
I spoke to some of them too, Pernell. Yes. I'm no prophet.
Well, you want me to tell you the truth publicly?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a problem.
No. But you couldn't vote for it neither, huh?
Well, there was no a vote that I participated in. Yeah. I don't think
But Pernell, we're going to come back to where we were the last time I was on this program.
Yeah.
You are an elder statesman in the Jamaica Labour Party. You're a senior parliamentarian when you left. You have a great standing and influence. You undertook the last time we were on the program that you will engage your former colleagues with whom you're still engaged with to support this thing. So I thought that you were going to report today to say, coming out of the last discussion.
Well, hold on. You don't ask me.
This is the result.
No, you didn't. You haven't asked me.
Engagement.
You haven't asked me. So let me tell you.
I know it's public record.
Get the resolution back in Parliament and take the advice that your colleague,
he can't get the resolution.
Pernell Charles and Ronnie Crate is giving you. And then you can talk to us after the vote.
No, Pernell, you're a former speaker. You know the process. The motion is already on the order paper.
Yes. Nigel Clark will never allow that motion to come forward.
I cannot raise a motion that is not on the agenda.
Yeah, so
if you can't pass it.
Well, no, hold on, no. If you, but there's something fundamentally wrong about the parliamentary process. If a person's motion can be shanghaied because it doesn't fit with the policy or the preference of a particular minister, that is wrong.
Yeah, but remember that you have about 500 resolution and the
And the
Parliament.
same applies, but
And it's not only that the other side object.
No, but
It's-
it doesn't.
that didn't come up.
The fact that two sides are wrong or don't or want to suppress something doesn't make it any more right to do it. Isn't that the position? So
He's on the ball. He's on the ball today. Go ahead.
No,
So
but Pernell, let us just keep it simple. As I said, and the records can verify, you made an undertaking, probably did not get around to it. Now that we having this thing out in the open, will you undertake to so engage your former colleagues along the line that I just made mention?
Well, I wouldn't want to tell you that, but you can guess that I congratulate you in getting them to agree in what you have gotten and leave the rest to me, because I know that if you get it, everybody go and forget it.
Well, Pernell, I won't push any further. What you have said a lot.
Okay,
And as
good.
intelligent as the public is, they will hear and understand what you have said and what you are reluctant to say much more explicitly. So all I will say, Pernell, as a man of conscience, right, that you will
You
proceed
hope.
to do just as you have indicated.
let me ask this, Fitz. What's happening next? Then it's coming up again in court in November.
November the 17th,
For what?
and for
tra-
the
not
completion
for-
of the case management.
For the completion of the case management. And,
Yes.
And then after
Hopefully it will be completed then.
After that,
and
it
then
will
we
have to go to trial, which so
Yes.
the trial realistically, at best hope, would probably be sometime in 2024.
Well, we go in November. Based upon how things are progressing,
Uh-huh.
you know the court system more than I do.
Yeah.
It is possible to end before the session if you have an early court date after the case management.
Uh-huh.
If not, very early next year.
Yeah, but what has happened, has it not, is that the defendant, the bank, has been trying very hard to postpone things.
Yes. They have tried
Hear
from
that,
the
no?
beginning to just push it down the road and expect that. Well, really to frustrate me into abandoning the whole
Abandoning
matter.
it, yes.
That is clear to me.
Okay.
I give you an example. Their correspondence will come on the eve of the next meeting, notwithstanding the undertaking that is given.
Yeah.
Those things,
Clearly. They
yeah,
want to
clearly
postpone this thing because the longer it is postponed, the less penalty they have to bear.
Yeah.
Yes, and I tell you, you've scored a major victory by having them amend their defense and decide they're not going to take it anymore. But that is grudging, unfortunately, and
Don't say it too badly, because I'm about to assign you
yeah,
to make contact
yeah.
with Scotiabank
Uh-huh.
to have somebody to talk to us next week on this matter.
They will not talk. I will make every effort, sir.
No,
I
you
can
make the
undertake
effort.
that.
You make the
Yeah,
effort,
but they will
publicly,
not.
and I will.
They will not.
Hear
They're,
you.
they're going to claim every possible reason why they will
They're
not.
going to clear that it is in court. What you call that?
Sub judice, which is totally inapplicable to this situation.
Well, what is bothering me? They can't give Fitz Jackson back him money and don't give Mr. Brown.
Well, there you go, Fitz. And then in Parliament, you continue to make representation for your motion to be heard again, but with
just
some amount
before
of cynicism.
Just before we had the summer break,
Uh-huh.
I raised it
Yeah.
in the house with the house leader. He promised that upon the resumption after the summer break, which is the period we are in, a number of the motions on the order paper will be taken. Given how long mine has been there, I hope that I haven't seen an agenda since we resumed that mine will be taken.
Yeah.
I hope it's not too far from
Okay.
now. But secondly, about any attempt, I will be at this thing until it is brought to a conclusion. However long it takes,
Thanks to you.
as long as I'm in the parliament,
Yeah,
it
man.
will continue there until it is achieved.
What a
As I
thing.
said elsewhere, I'm saying we can't give up on doing that which is
No.
fair,
No.
just, and equitable.
And when we're changing the Constitution, Mr. Jackson, Honorable Mr. Charles, we must do it in a way that provides that a majority, whatever majority, cannot prevent the discussion and resolution of matters legitimately brought by any member before the House of Representatives or the Senate.
It must be discussed and thrown
It
out.
must be, yes. That's
I
fine.
accepted or
Yes,
thrown out.
yes. That
Fitz.
is, otherwise, it's not
Fitz,
democratic.
I am not running you, but I have something that I didn't want to bring it up to you because we didn't discuss it with you. But if you listen to Ronnie and myself, we're going to discuss something that happened down at, I sent you a copy of it on your thing.
The crab hole thing? Fitz, if you're
The
interested,
Fitz.
the thing at the crab depot.
Fitz,
Down
Go to the
at
back.
Heroes Break.
Oh, the crab circle.
Yeah.
Let me just say this to you. I am worried about the opposition and the government not being able to, on a national basis, deal with the matter with the PNP and JLP, but take it out of the PNP and JLP. What I have had sent to me, which I've sent to my colleague, and had the PNP opposing the shutting down of this place. Have you seen it?
No, I'm not too afraid.
I am going to send it to
Yeah, but
you.
hear me now.
Because
there is no
it
doubt
bothers me.
There is no doubt that as it was running, remember that's an area close to where I represented,
Yes.
just across the
Yes.
line.
Yes.
Yes. I know a good bit about that. And there is no doubt that what was going on there was insanitary and requires very sharp action.
But go stop right there because I want you to come in. Are you suggesting to me that the big opening of this matter was done without any sanitary convenience there?
Yes, it was.
None was there?
None. That is the whole point.
No, right.
Yeah,
That is-
I was
that-
about to say.
I am
even-
absolutely sure of that.
Yeah, I think that has come to
there
the
was
fore.
no
There was
sanitary
none.
convenience.
And therefore, all
No.
that is happening out there now with Heart Trust this morning announced on the news, training up the people
Yes.
in food preparation and so on.
Yeah.
That is fine. But what is really needed, is 3 bathroom.
Even if the people have to pay to connect their water.
Of course, this
You
is it.
have to have.
Fitz, we have consensus on that one. We have to go. Thanks so much for
Indeed.
your company. All the best.
All the best. Thank you,
Good.
gentlemen.
Yes.
And thanks to your listeners.
And we
Bye-bye.
agree.
I was Minister of Local Government.
Yes. Last
And
word
I will
to
tell you
Yes.
that
Open there, kept there.
what
no
they now call the
bathroom.
Pernell Charles Arcade,
Yes.
you could not put that up and don't have
Of course,
thing.
because
Right?
you're a roots man.
the William Grant
Yes. Park.
Park.
Uh-huh.
When I became
Similarly.
minister, I put in 4 bathrooms
Yes.
because there were black scandal bag bathrooms over the
Over
place.
there. Well,
And after put it in,
good standard.
people from uptown
Yeah.
come down there, stop and use them.
Excellent, as it should be. They're
Quick,
open for
10
everybody.
second,
We
10
all have
sec-
the same
10
humanity.
seconds more. They couldn't find it
Yeah.
possible. I called 3 women and say, "You're working now, sir. You take that, you take that, you take
Yeah,
that."
and keep
10
it clean.
$10,
To
10
use
cents
it.
for use it. And here are the toilet papers and this. And this. Every time they come
So
out,
why
I
we can't
say,
do that? But that's the truth of Crab Circle. What boy, we always have a fascinating program, don't we? And I thank you so much, my co-host Pernell Charles. Thanks to Fitz Jackson. Thanks earlier to Lascelles Muggy Graham, and to you, Jeff, and to all the people at Bridge who make this possible. We're indebted to all of our listeners. Catch us anytime on the internet, and if life is spared, next Wednesday we'll be back with the Public Eye. Till then, the very best care to you.